Kick back and eyes front, because the view starts now. Senator Jeff Flake gives his political view on how he changed the course of the Kavanaugh hearings after an emotional confrontation, and why he still ended up voting for him anyway. And it's Megan's birthday. So watch what happens live when Andy Cohen hits the table. It's expensive to be mad. And we're treating her to a command performance from her Real Housewives obsession, Erica Jane. Let's fire up Hot Topics with Whoopi, Abby Huntsman, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and Meghan McCain. Now.
My spear horn.
It's great.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Really quick, it is my birthday today. Thank you all so much for everything. I just have to say one quick thing really quickly. I'm feeling very charitable today. If any of you are feeling charitable, there's a John McCain Endowed Chair in Brain Cancer Research for the TGen Glioblastoma Research. If you are feeling charitable, I'm happy to be alive today. Go donate to brain cancer research so no one has to go through glioblastoma like my family did.
Excellent.
Okay?
And just so you know, we got some special guests later on.
Yes.
You know, but how you feeling today? I love your heart.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
I mean, not to be, first of all, I love the Arizona. Thank you so much. I'm just really happy to be healthy and alive. And there's so many of my friends in the audience, and I love this show, and I love all of you. And I'm such a cheese ball today, which is not normal. And I'm just really grateful for my health and to work on a show that people watch all the time.
Well,
yes.
you light up all of our lives,
Thank
Megan.
you.
You do.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I love each and every one of you bitches, whether I like it or not.
Well, but isn't that the thing that makes friends worthwhile?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they piss you off, sometimes they don't, and that's what friends are.
Boring otherwise.
Well, I think it would be boring, and I also think that that if everyone is just like you, you never grow. So it's a great thing. And you know how I feel about birthdays. I think that they're really important because a lot of people that we know didn't get to be as old as we got to be. So I think it's important. And so we're going to get into some political stuff. A nuclear budget analyst says she never talks politics. You think it's getting harder to do?
I'm still working on. She was a nuclear budget analyst.
Yeah.
After earning her
MBA.
She was also a pilot when her husband Jeffrey was deployed in the Vietnam War. I mean, incredible woman.
By the way, if I come back in another life, I want to be Jeffrey, her husband.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if you watch her show. I adore her, and I love her show, and she brings you into her home.
She's
it's
very
like
real.
you want to live there because it's so warm, and she doesn't talk about politics.
When she, Jeffrey's home, my souffle is rising. So excited.
And he tastes everything, and he's actually a leading expert in international trade. So after a tour in Vietnam, he worked for the Nixon, Ford, and Carter administrations in foreign policy positions. So they're a real power couple, and she's doing something that she loves, which is entertaining.
But you know what? There's some people in your life, because we talked about dating someone of different political viewpoints, which I'm all for, but there's some people in your life that you just can't talk politics with. I have family members that we just know. It is so awkward at the dinner table that the minute it comes up, you have to retreat because someone's going to walk out of the room and it's not going to end well. And I think that's common for many
there are knives on the table, so you have to.
I know. And we've heard this story from other people. I mean, Reba McEntire, Dolly Parton. They're like, you know, I want people to get away from politics when I'm entertaining them. And I think maybe Ina has that same sort of philosophy.
But,
and maybe that works.
I think for me, everyone always wants to talk about politics, and I'm sure with all of you too when you go out, because you're talking about politics on TV every day.
No, I like to talk
and for me,
about it.
I love it too. It's why we get along, because I always want to fight and debate, and if people don't want to talk about current events, I actually have a really harder time talking about like sweet, sensitive, like cooking. I'm sort of all right, like whatever, but I'm like, what about what's happening in Saudi Arabia? So
well, come to my shows, because I don't talk about politics. I talk about myself.
Yeah.
I talk about myself, and I talk about what's happening with my body. Things that used to be up here that are now down here. things that are going to happen to you. And one of the reasons we're saying this is because I've got live shows coming up.
Right. Yeah.
In Vegas. Actually, on Friday, I'm at the Westbury NYBC Theater in Westbury.
Right.
And then, I do my birthday date, which will be the 9th this year in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
now, people always get very annoyed with me before they see the show because they figure I'm going to do exactly what I'm doing here. No.
No.
No,
It's very
I don't
different.
I don't sing my movies.
No.
I don't do lines for
And
my
it's so
movies.
much fun. I went to see you at the King's Theater,
Yes,
and
you
I
did.
had such a good time.
It's a good time.
It's so much fun.
if you want a break, if you want a little break, because I do. I need to remember what's going on in the world and all the good stuff. So I talk about some good stuff. But then I also talk about myself.
Yeah.
Again, happy birthday, you.
Happy birthday,
We'll be right back.
I have one more request. I would like this next.
We'll give it to you at the end of the show.
Still ahead, Senator Jeff Flake gives his political view. Andy Cohen's coming to our clubhouse for Megan's birthday. And Real Housewife Erica Jane has a special performance for Megan.
Oh, wait, no, I got it. I'm so sorry. That's really what I do around here. Okay. I'm sorry, miss.
We had a little...
Joy was so excited about my birthday, she spilled her water
everywhere.
all over the table.
I was going to say something totally different, but I can't. No.
I've never seen that. Has that ever happened to you?
Your TikTok
Yes.
flew everywhere.
It happens
It's my
all the
birthday,
time.
Who cares? Trump's president. All bets are off. It's fine.
Oh, wait.
Oh, God.
Yeah, watch out. Back up. Now, I know you're used to the baby sort of dropping a little wet on you.
I'm going to take it. I never get
this.
this. I'm always the one cleaning. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah,
Don't get used to it. A blog on Elite Daily is celebrating one of the most satisfying ways a woman can end the day by removing her bra. This is something I've known for 40 years. But do you agree?
I wear my bra until I go to bed, and then I take it off. I know women in the audience are looking at me like I'm crazy.
I know. Thank you.
I don't know. I always do. I kind of grew up like that. My mom always told me, a proper lady wears her brassiere. But then Whoopi taught me last season that, because I always thought that if you didn't wear the bra most of the day, that your boobies would sag. Yeah. And then you taught me, you were like, that's totally not true. It makes no difference.
They're going to say again.
That makes no difference.
Yeah.
So
it's like your butt.
Right? So
it's
now
going to change. It's going to change.
I may start taking it off right away.
I cannot stand it. As soon as I go home, I don't want to be groped by my undergarments, okay? it's like a Me Too moment with my brassiere.
I don't even wait till I hate bras so much, something we totally bond over. If any
what are you holding up?
Any even day. I hate them. Any given day.
You really don't like wearing a bra, I will say.
Right away?
Full disclosure, Megan has seen me pumping. She has seen these things in a much different phase of life. They were not like this.
And by the way, to your credit, it was like National Geographic. She's like, I'm breastfeeding in front of everyone. I was like, this is what all women should see before you have a child.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful and a little traumatizing.
But you know what's worse than breastfeeding? Worse than breastfeeding is having to wear a bra all the time.
You hate wearing a bra.
I hate bras so much. So I put them in my purse right after the show.
Really?
If you open my bra or my purse any time of day, you'll see my bra in there.
You know,
hate it.
I couldn't breastfeed. My kid had a tooth. She had a bit of bone in her, and it was like, ow!
No.
Yeah, she was born with a little bit of bone. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. Your book comes out today.
It is today.
Oh,
it is today.
Her brand new children's book, Who Will I Be? It's available everywhere today.
Yeah.
And we will be right back.
That's cool.
Does Republican Senator Jeff Flake plan to challenge President Trump in 2020? He's on The View next.
Of the Justice Kavanaugh's hearings was Senator Jeff Flake getting confronted by sexual assault survivors, which led to the senator calling for an FBI investigation into allegations against Kavanaugh. Got questions for him. We hate that he's leaving. We have a lot of questions for him. Please welcome back Senator Jeff Flake. Can we start with a powerful moment in the elevator that captivated the nation? Let's take a look.
What you are doing is allowing someone who actually violated a woman to sit in the Supreme Court. This is not tolerable. You have children in your family.
Look at me when I'm talking to you. You're telling me that my assault doesn't matter. That what happened to me doesn't matter. Don't look away from me. Look at me and tell me that it doesn't matter what happened to me.
So when you watch that and the women are begging you, people are wondering, what happened?
Well, that was powerful. The president said they were paid protesters or whatnot. I don't believe that. They had a story to tell, and they wanted me to hear it. And it was effective, too. I was unsettled about the process. I felt that we should have done an FBI investigation. And I went from, that reaffirmed it, believe me, that experience in the elevator. And I went right to the committee, and that's when I, with Chris Coons in the anteroom, worked on a plan to have a week-long delay. And I felt that we needed to do due process, have a fulsome process. And I'm glad we did.
You were so taken back in that moment, in that you could see it in your face.
Yeah.
If those women were in this room right now, what would you say to them?
Well, I mean, the Me Too movement is real and needed and good. And I felt for them. You could tell that it was genuine. And I just want them to know that we hear them. Things are, I don't think will ever be the same after the last couple of years.
No.
And certainly, I should mention as well, I received throughout this process calls from friends and extended family and others who I never expected to hear what I heard from them about experiences they had had. I mean, people close to me that I'd known my whole life. And so this has really triggered a much-needed discussion about what's going on in the workplace or elsewhere, and also the reason that people don't come forward immediately. There are many, many reasons why they don't, and it's not as simple as the president says, oh, she should have come forward. That's just simplistic.
After the way he made fun of that
Right.
Dr. Blasey, what woman wants to put herself through that? Again, so nothing really got accomplished, in my opinion. I mean, I'm going to ask you a tough question. The FBI investigation, a lot of people say it was a complete sham because they never asked Kavanaugh or Dr. Blasey follow-up questions. They never really interviewed corroborating witnesses. It was kind of like a slapdash investigation, in the opinion, asking for a friend, of course. But
The scope was narrowed by the White House?
It was very narrow, and a lot of people say that it gave you cover to vote for him rather than that you really thought it through in a completely profound way.
I would have liked a broader investigation that started sooner. I think that would have been my preference and the preference of many. But to have a week, the Anita Hill investigation took 4 days. So it is possible, and the FBI is fully capable of doing this. And they did. It wasn't a broad investigation, but it was thorough. I wish that the country could have read that report. I don't want to get in the habit of making background investigations public. We really can't do that. But it was thorough for the scope that it was. And it did address and interview everybody that was there, that was said to have been there. It didn't go beyond to people that were secondhand witnesses, but it went 10 witnesses, I think 11 or 12 interviews for the people that were alleged to have been there, and it was thorough in that way, and it was illuminating.
Do you think you should have taken a polygraph test, Kavanaugh?
No, I don't think that you get into that. Then you'd have to go back into hers and say, how was that conducted? And you would put her through that again. I don't think, I think there's a reason, those in the legal field can probably say why you don't lie on those.
Well, but Senator, as a former sex crimes prosecutor, I prosecuted many cases with just a woman's testimony, because with sex crimes, there typically are no witnesses in the room. And I've convicted every single person based on a woman's testimony. Did you believe Dr. Blasey Ford's testimony under oath before the committee?
You know, she was very compelling. He was very persuasive. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had the certitude that some of my colleagues expressed. But I said on the floor before that hearing, we're likely to leave the hearing with as much doubt as certainty. And that's how I felt afterwards.
But there was so much ambiguity the way you're describing it. Why not just find another person who had none of this ambiguity?
Well,
there are many judges out there who are quite capable of the job. Why him?
That's a valid view. On the flip side, people would say, with some justification, that if the mere allegation with no corroboration is sufficient to disqualify someone, we've entered a new phase that we probably don't want to enter. No, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know is a fair answer.
I don't know if I believed him either.
I think it's an honest answer.
It is.
And that's okay, by the way. In the world we live in, it's okay to not know sometimes or to not pick a side immediately.
And that's where politics has gone now. If any senator or any member of the House expresses any doubt or admits that they don't know the answer or that they might learn something from a hearing, there were only 3 or 4 of us who went into the initial hearing saying that we want to learn what happened in the hearing and hadn't already announced publicly how we would vote. And that's where politics has gone, because I can tell you, you get it from both sides, and people make the choice in politics now that you only want to be harangued by one side and not both sides. And that's the real problem today.
Well, the question that I have for you sort of goes along with, you know, what Sonny asked, and that is if there's a modicum of doubt, because it's not just what she was saying, but also how people were comporting. Did he say, no, I never drank, and then maybe I drank, and then I kind of drank, and then I think I might have passed the beer once? When you have all of that, does that not give, is that not enough reason to take a break and say, maybe we need to get a different candidate? What's the woman's name?
Amy Coney Barrett, or I personally liked Mike Lee as choices.
I did too, yeah.
You know, so why stick with this one when there's so much doubt, when you have 2, you know, who are probably going to serve you as not you, but serve the country as well? Why stick with this one? If you had doubt, because I think I heard you say, I'm not sure. Oh, sure. I don't know who so I'm just curious.
Sure, and that's a valid position that you can take, and some did take that position. But you have to think as well, if you have a situation, which we're in now, where it's totally partisan going in, if allegations alone are enough to disqualify someone, where does that leave us? He was, and when you look at his record on the court, on the D.C. Circuit Court, for 12 years, stellar record, a model of decorum and decency. And that's where you weigh, and I didn't like his interaction with some of the senators, in particular Klobuchar, and I thought, but then you weigh that against what he has done in court. And when you ask those that he served with, his colleagues, his clerks, and others, he was a model of decorum and decency, and I think that should count for something as well.
But sexual assault, we have to go.
All right. Gotta take a break. We'll be right back with Senator Jeff Flake. We'll be back.
I'm so excited the new View merchandise arrived. Hey, look at all this cool stuff. Mugs, tanks, totes.
There's even a View notebook. Look at color, red, to match my natural hair. What, you think that's fake news?
Visit our website to shop the official View store. You'll find all your old favorites, sweatshirts, caps, water bottles, and new must-have items you won't want to miss.
Senator Jeff Flake, Megan.
Yes, okay, so...
Let me just say, there's no audience like this on C-SPAN.
I'm very happy you're here. Look, I was so happy you're here for my birthday. We are old family friends. I saw you the day before my dad died. You were up in Sedona with me. I don't want to reveal the conversations we had, but One of them was about you being on the field when Congressman Scalise was shot. You recently just had a man who was indicted for threatening to kidnap you and your family. We come from the same school of thought that politics should not be personal. It certainly shouldn't be violent. We should find more in common than apart. How do you feel right now? I'm so sad you're leaving office.
Well, it's terrible. The threats, like I mentioned, now you get them, if you express any thought about something, you get them from the right and from the left. But your father, during the campaign for president, when the woman denigrated Barack Obama, and he took the mic and said, no, he's a decent man. You contrast that with what would happen today if that same thing happened. And that's where we've gone, where your political opponent is somehow your enemy. And I mentioned on the ball field that day, as I turned, as Steve Scalise was shot and somebody yelled, shooter, shooter, I turned toward the dugout and watched the bullets pitch off the gravel in front of me. And the thought I had was exactly that. Why us? Why? How could somebody look at a bunch of middle-aged men playing baseball and see the enemy? And that's where we've come in politics.
Well, people see the power behind that. They see that these baseball players have power, and that's the part that makes them crazy, I guess.
It's just, it's out of control right now. It is.
Can we reel it back?
I think so, but it has to come by example, and it won't come as long as the president continues to denigrate people and ridicule people.
So I'm not staying and fight.
Staying and fight?
Well, I can tell you this, if there's no room for Trump skeptics, let alone Trump critics, in a Republican primary these days.
That's unbelievable.
And that's the way it is in Arizona.
That's on us also. That's on us, the voters.
It's on the voters.
We allowed this to happen. Moderate Republicans, come out, please come out wherever y'all are, because we desperately
And keep people like Senator Flake in office. Well, we understand that you're old family friends, and you've brought something for Megan.
Well, let me just say, before I get this, if John McCain could have put The View on in the Senate cloakroom every day, he would. There was nothing that made him happier than to talk about your success.
Who was the new John McCain in the Republican Party?
You know,
who's not quitting?
It's not here yet.
Oh, there are the people. You had Ben Sass on last week, and Ben's a thoughtful guy, and there are some who will rise up. We have to. We have no choice. Somebody needs to rise up. But let me just say, when I spent time with John McCain, campaigning or traveling overseas or whatever, nothing made him happier than to get calls from his family and to see him light up like that. And I miss him horribly, and I know you do too. But wanted to
and you're
bring
such a good friend. You just are. You're so great. Oh!
Bring you a little
Thank you so much, Senator.
I love the splatter.
I keep cactuses all over my apartment.
And I want you to know, my wife who's here in the audience and me took your advice for your birthday and made a contribution to the John McCain Chair at TGen to study brain cancer.
Thank you very much.
How about 2020? Can we see any? Are you revisiting Iowa or New Hampshire 2018?
I've been to New Hampshire a couple of times, but just for the weather.
Oh my gosh.
I do hope that somebody runs on the Republican side, if nothing else, to remind Republicans what we used to be and what we will need to be again, and what decent politicians look like. So.
Come back. We might not agree on a whole lot of stuff, but you are an honorable man. And that is what politics is lacking.
Very kind.
We want to say thanks to Senator Jeff Flake. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, it's Andy. I'm here to wish my pal Megan a happy birthday. Don't go anywhere. I'm backstage. I'm going out there next.
They've sold out shows and made it big, far from home. But you never forget where it all started. So what's it like when you go back to your childhood home? Now tonight.
This is when I knew I made it.
The raw emotion they never saw coming.
Oh my God.
Come here. The biggest surprises and personal messages.
You gotta always remember where you came from and who you are.
From executive producer Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm home.
I'm Coming Home. Tonight at 10/9 Central on ABC.
You're headed down the highway when the guy in front slams on his brakes out of nowhere. You do too, but not in time. Hey, no big deal. You got a good record, and Liberty Mutual won't hold a grudge by raising your rates over one mistake. You hear that, Karen? Liberty Mutual doesn't hold grudges. How mature of them.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise their rates because of
the season for our greatest life fight ever. The Great Christmas Life Fight premieres Monday on ABC.
Welcome back. Well, since it's Megan's birthday, we invited the mastermind behind the Bravo reality shows that help her escape reality every single week. Please welcome one of her very favorite people in this world, Andy Cohen.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
I brought you something.
Okay, you already brought me another
No,
gift.
no, babe. I brought you something really great.
What?
This is the Giovanni jumpsuit that Dorinda wore on the finale of The Real Housewives of New York. Giovanni! That's it. If you watch The New York Housewives, you know what a huge deal this is. And she does.
For the rest of my life.
Okay, good.
No,
Good.
100%. If you
She's gonna wear this to work
I'm going to wear
every
this
day.
She should.
I can't believe you gave this to me. This is television.
It's
I mean,
courtesy of Giovanni.
thank you very much.
Megan, why did you pick Andy? We all think long and hard about our birthday days.
Yeah.
Why did you pick Andy Cohen?
Well, first of all, I mean, I adore you, and we've been friends for a very long time, and you've been always supportive of my career, even when people were skeptics. And I mean, selfishly, the Housewives are such an incredible escape in my life, and people belittle reality television. I binge-watched Dallas Housewives after my dad died, and I couldn't get out of bed. Watched all 3 seasons.
Oh, my God.
Up to about... Please keep this show on the air.
Oh, it's not going anywhere.
Fantastic television, and I think that pop culture is just as important as politics and anything more serious in our lives.
And Andy, you said that you love talking politics with
I love
Megan.
talking politics with Megan. We don't always agree, but I can have a reasoned conversation with her, and I think we both take things away from each other that we didn't know before, and I think that's where we need to be kind of as a country, sitting down and hearing each other.
You're also very much more political. Like, you can talk about politics much more than I think people realize, because you don't do it that often on TV.
Right. But you know what you really want to ask. Go ahead.
Okay, I really want to talk about Joe Giudice.
Yes, that's
okay.
a good one.
So the Dallas housewife, or not Dallas is still on my mind, Jersey.
Yes.
Is he being deported? Her husband.
Apparently, the judge ruled that he was. I was stunned. The guy's done his time. She did her time. And I just, you know, he's lived here all his life, but he's technically not a citizen. So that was the ruling. It seems like they've paid back the money and they've done their time. I wish that they could find a way that he could stay here with his daughters and his wife and kind of give back to society in some kind of a meaningful way.
It's hard to feel sorry for him. He's going to Italy. Big deal.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going
I
to
know.
Syria, you know?
His daughters aren't there, so
Well, they
I'm
can
gonna
go
have one of
visit
your
him.
men. All right.
Just so you know, these are Tic Tacs, because people once questioned what people were eating on our
Oh, I was hoping it was something more interesting. I thought it was Percocet.
I wish.
Don't you know there's a epidemic?
I know, it's not
My
funny.
God.
I agree.
My Lord, Andy.
Yeah.
My Lord.
Yes.
Last time I saw you, we were in London.
Yeah, about a week ago.
About a week
I think.
ago, yeah.
Yes.
And your speech, you said something that I thought was interesting. You talked about London as being a very special place, having a very special place in your heart. Tell everybody why.
I studied abroad in London, and believe it or not, there was a time when I was in the closet. And I was really, but that's where I came out of the closet. And it was a time where I thought that my family and friends were going to disown me. And I didn't think that I would be accepted for who I was. And there I was in London, and I found myself accepted, and I've never felt more free in my life. It was this weird moment before I had come back to the States and come out to my family and friends who wound up holding me in their loving arms, and everything worked out beautifully for me. It doesn't for everyone, but it was a beautifully freeing experience for me being there, and it always is when I go back.
I love it.
Well, here's another freeing experience for you.
Yeah.
You and Anderson Cooper have been, you know, doing some touring.
We have.
The two of you sit in Yak, right?
We sit in Yak.
Yeah.
And we're going to be at the Coliseum in Las Vegas Friday night. This Friday. It's huge.
Wow.
Road trip to Vegas, everybody. If you're looking for something to do this Friday night, we're so excited. And like you said at the opening of the show, it's not a night of politics. It's a night of fun. It's like going to a bar with me and Anderson and hearing our best stories that we would never tell in polite society, but we kind of do. And we encourage everyone in the audience to drink liberally.
So Watch What Happens Live has been on for almost 10 years, but I love you for the reunion shows. Southern Charm is what Megan knows, one of my favorite shows of all time.
Good.
We bond over this.
Yeah.
You have this ability to pull things out of people.
Yes.
I want to know your take on Thomas Ravenel.
Oh, well, he's no longer on the show.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, I mean, I haven't spoken to him. I don't actually know much more than you do about the situation, but he's not going to be on the show next season, and it's certainly unfortunate.
That show is a trap. You always get me to say stuff, and then I get in trouble.
Watch What Happens Live? I know. That's why we
What's
talk
your
about
trick?
you.
How do you pull it out of people?
Yeah.
Well, alcohol, and also, you know what? I saw that there was an opening in late night because it was such a friendly environment late night. I realized no one was really going there, and Howard Stern's kind of my broadcasting role model, and I like to go there and ask the questions. And it's also live. We're the only live show in late night, so that's what we're all about: fun and getting people to kind of spill the tea. Thank you.
It is.
I love when you come.
I love it. All right, well, you can watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen Sunday through Thursday nights on Bravo. And Andy, you're sticking around.
I can't wait.
We're going to celebrate Megan's birthday with a performance from, guess who? Erica Jane.
Erica Jane has an expensive birthday gift just for Megan. She's coming up next. It's expensive to be If you have postmenopause.
Asked me when he could greet me for my birthday, and I begged him to ask my all-time favorite top housewife to make a stop on her world tour. Right here on The View, here to perform Expensive. Please welcome the greatest
Erica Jane!
Ticking like a time bomb. Limited edition, gotta buy it with no trial. Purchase like a lion, knock 'em out like Tyson. That's just who I be. It's expensive to be me. Like these Georgia, still don't give a what? It's expensive to be me.
No worries.
I'm sorry, I love her.
I'm a fan of it.
Amazing! Happy birthday, baby. Thank you, all of you, for coming out.
Oh, thank you.
I blew my voice out. I'm singing so loud.
I love you.
So good.
She knows every word.
I love her.
That was amazing.
Of course I know every word. It's the best song ever.
I want to cook.
Are we asking a question?
No, are you asking a question? Ask a question.
Okay, great. Sorry.
That's
Are
you.
we back on?
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed. Honestly, thank you so much for coming on. You're currently filming The Housewives.
I am.
Right now. How's it going?
I was talking to the boss in my dressing room.
Yes.
It's going to be
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
You're going to be happy.
Thank you so much for coming out for my birthday. I love you so much. You're
I love
such
you,
a
Megan.
sweet friend. I'm going to cry. Andy, you too. Seriously, I am so touched. Best song ever. I'm so excited you're here and all of your dancers. Everyone. And Whoopi and everyone, thank you all so much. Happy birthday, baby doll.
Okay, I see that. Now, here's what's interesting about the show. I'm not sure whether the question that was up, Megan, was that you performing. I think that might have, no, that wasn't her performing. And I'm not sure why that was.
Like where are you performing?
No, where will you be performing?
December, ericajane.com. I am all over. So this is my last show on my leg here, and then in December we're everywhere. So check the dates.
Where were you just performing?
Chicago.
Oh, a wonderful town.
Which I love, by the way.
Yeah.
She can open for you and Anderson.
That's right.
We can open for her.
Or us. Listen, thank you, Erica Jane and Andy Cohen. Happy birthday, Megan. We want all of you to remember a good time. Take a little time to enjoy the view, y'all.